Well, autumn is upon us, it's windy, and it's time to prep for the winter season. So we're going to show you how to make a quick pickle recipe that you can use over a variety of vegetables so that you have nice good produce that can take you to the winter until we go back into summer. I'm gonna miss summer so much. But what we're doing today, we are doing cherry tomatoes, red onion, pickled red onions. I love them. It is my favorite condiment for tacos, burgers, sandwiches, whatever you can mention. I love it. Then we're going to do some pickled red peppers and whole pickled cucumbers. Of course, you can slice them, but I think we're going to try the whole ones today. Also because I have a ginormous mason jar that I have to play with.
Of course you have.
Always big things. So let's start prepping the vegetables. Everything washed thoroughly, of course. So we start with our Florina peppers. They are a little bit more spicy than red bell peppers, but just a tad. So off with the ends here. Gone, and then we split it down the middle. So we can take out all the seeds. I don't want to have long strips like this because that will be too long when you want to eat them. So I'm going to split them in half so they will be like that. And then it's just a question flattening them out and then cut them into strips. Fairly simple. That is the last of our pepper. Nice, ready for pickling. Then we're going to continue with our red onion. And here, to make it easy, I just took off the tops and cleaned them outside, but root to stem. So we take off the bottom. We don't want that woody part in the middle there. And then you cut them, root to stem. And then you simply just dice them thinly like this. Then you have your julienne cut straight away. When you get to here, when it gets shaky, down with the onion and continue. So it's super simple and fast. And all of these we're going to put in a strainer because we're going to blanch them a little bit with hot water. I'll show you and I'll explain you why. And this is the last of the onion. Now all we want to do is just give them a quick, call it massage here, so that we release them so that they are individual strands. And then all we're going to do right now, because they have a bite, the onion, and you don't want that in your pickled red onion. You want them to be red, you want them to have crunch, but you don't want them to have that onion bite. That's too much. So we're going to pour over and blanch them with some boiling water. But don't leave it too long. This you will leave for 3, 4, 5 minutes and then drain them. Then they are ready for the next step of the process. So they are there. Put them to a side, and then we can move on with our tomatoes. And that's an easy one because the only thing we're going to do here is we take a needle and we punch a hole in them so that they don't explode when we put them in hot vinegar. So it's just a question of doing them like this. And now for our pickling brine. This is real simple, and this is a basic brine you can use for anything, even pickled herring if you so want, which is a delicacy in Denmark, by the way. 2 liters of white distilled vinegar. Could you use other vinegars? Obviously, but now we are going in with white distilled. And then actually 1.5 liters of water. We're using bottled water here because our tap water has a lot of limestone and you don't want that in your pickles. So 1.5, you can go up to 2 liters, but I like it on the more tart side.
Size.
Yeah. So this is like 3.5 liters, should add up to that. We start warming that up. And while that warms up to a boil, we are going to add salt. And you are going to need somewhere between 1.5 to 2 tablespoons per liter of water, depending how salty you want your brine to be. But don't go below 1.5 because you need that salt content to preserve your vegetables. So 1, 2, 3, 4, and that brings me to what? 1.5 per liter. We have 3.5. So
that's for 2 liters and a bit. You need some more.
Yeah. That should do it for my brine. And then we just bring that up to a boil to get all the salt dissolved. While that comes up to a boil, we can get started on our cucumbers. a very big mason jar here. And then we're gonna put a couple of laurel leaves or bay leaves or whatever you call them in the bottom. 4 of those. And then we're gonna start putting in the cucumbers. And by the way, I'm putting it on a tray like this so that when you start pouring the liquid, if the glass explodes, which can happen, then you don't get it down over your legs and stuff like that. Otherwise, do it inside your sink if you're doing it in your indoor kitchen. And then basically, we are filling in cucumbers and try to arrange them nicely, if you can. I can't get my hand in, so that's a little bit difficult.
You need my little hand.
Yeah, actually, I need your help,
Yeah.
but it doesn't matter.
Oh no, it's fine.
It will look
They
pretty.
don't need to be squeezed in either, right?
No, because we also want pickling brine to go around them. So,
Exactly.
and I think we have just the right amount here.
When you go, the rest of the spices, you put them on top.
Yes, because that will fall down through. I'll put now a couple of bay leaves on top also, because they will not sink to the bottom through the cucumbers. So a couple of bay leaves on the top. Then I have 2 tablespoons of toasted coriander seeds, and they go over the top like this, and 2 tablespoons of black peppercorn. Now our brine has been boiling for a couple of minutes. Now it's time to start our pickling process. So switch that off, and then we're simply gonna pour our boiling liquid over our cucumbers.
Let's hope it won't break.
It
won't
would have
crack.
broken by now. It would have broken by now.
Okay. So you have
And then
to cover
you fill
all
it
the
up
way, right?
all the way to
Yep.
the top. So the cucumbers, they don't stick out of there. And contrary to what you see on the internet, don't believe everything you see on the internet, because they say that now you leave it to cool down before you close it.
No.
No. See, now it's a boiling point. You close this up immediately, because then this will naturally vacuum seal itself as it cools down. So now this is perfectly preserved, and it will last you 17 years in the fridge. So that's about it. That out of the way, we are going to continue with our red pickled onions. That we only need a small jar here. Again, a couple of bay leaves in the bottom, like that. And then I'm going to put half of my red peppercorns in the bottom, because the onions, they pack. I have 2 tablespoons of red peppercorn. And then I have a teaspoon and a half of red chili flakes. Give it a little bit here in the bottom. And then I'm going to take my onions right here. And then we just start stuffing. I mean, this you need to have in your fridge at all times, all given times.
It's a must.
No, but it's really fantastic. I mean, a steak sandwich with red pickled onions, ooh, it's fantastic. And before I continue, I take the other bay leaves here when we are almost at the top, the rest of my red peppercorn, and the rest of my red chili flakes. And then we pack it nicely in with our pickling liquid. And just make sure it's all topped up. There we go. Same story. Close it up. Vacuum seals itself. And they will be beautiful pink tomorrow. Trust me. I have made this so many times. For our pickled tomatoes, we are going to go in a slightly different direction. First up, we're going to put in a couple of cloves of garlic. And then we have some basil here. Now this is boiling very much, so off with that. Basil, small leaf basil, local from here, extremely aromatic. So we put in half of that in the bottom. And then we're going to stuff in our tomatoes, simple as that. It looks like I actually measured this. Huh?
Almost, yeah.
Again, same procedure. And now I almost forgot myself because I had more basil, so that goes on top. We need basil in here. That's a nice flavor profile. Basil and cherry tomatoes.
And a bit of garlic.
A bit of garlic.
No pepper on the tomatoes.
No pepper, no nothing. It overpowers the tomatoes. These are excellent in a salad or just as a condiment next to a steak or whatever. They are gonna be so beautiful. And I'm telling you, this is fantastic. Last up, we're going to deal with our peppers. So here we are going in with white peppercorn. I'm going to put half here, some of it in the bottom. I have a couple of tablespoons. And some red chili flakes. It's going to be nice. And then we start stuffing in our peppers. These I can do easy. Let's get these filled up. I hope I have enough brine, otherwise I'll have to make some more. And there we have it, 4 beautiful products. Our nice cucumber, which is going to be so good. They will need a good week before they are ready to start consuming.
Yeah,
whereas at least actually, whereas the red onions and the peppers, they can actually be eaten the day after. Tomorrow these will grow all bright red, and the tomatoes also pretty fast. But give them a couple of days, excellent in salad. And this is such a quick and easy way to do it. You don't have to boil your brine with the spices. Do it this way and you can make a whole batch of different things. And basically you can do it to everything which is not leafy. You can do it to carrots, ginger, whatever you want. So give it a shot and fill up your pantry with good stuff.